Welcome to Dive Bar Comedy Podcast, people.
I am Wild Joe. We are here with GT, and this is episode 31.
Yeah. Man, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy when you're doing comedy. You're out late at night. You know what keeps me awake? You would never guess.
Thinking of your dumb bird jokes.
I'm saying, what keeps me awake when you're at the comedy store? It's nothing but black walls.
Coffee. I already know you drink a lot of coffee.
Not only coffee, but you know what?
Masturbating in the bathroom? I don't know.
I don't masturbate in the comedy store bathroom. Come on, they might have. That's kind of stupid.
Okay, so just say it. Well, what keeps you awake? I don't understand what this big buildup is.
Boba.
Oh, boba tea. Caffeinated tea.
Boba is what really keeps me going, you know?
I didn't know this about you. This is new. We all go through phases. I remember when we first started dating, you were in a vaping phase, and I haven't seen you doing that for a long, long time.
Yeah, my vape broke, so...
Did it explode in your face?
People were telling me it was going to explode in my face, but it just... I think the battery died. Something happened to it.
Well, it's a nasty habit because not only can it explode in your face, but it also has God knows what kind of chemicals inside, and they're so small. They're vapor level, so they really don't even know if that's really better for your lungs or not. I mean, it might be better on some level, but it hasn't been done for long enough to know if it's like bad on another level for people that have been vaping for 30 years or whatever.
Yeah, I could just feel it in my system. You know, when you're constantly inhaling all those liquids, you can feel it in your system. You can feel it in your lungs. All that, the vapor.
Yeah. I mean, it may be safer than smoking, but I'm sure there are things they're still going to find out about it in the future for people that have been doing it for a long, long time. But anyway, welcome back, everybody, to Dive Bar Comedy. We've been having a lot of fun shows. We have a couple more fun shows planned for this month. If you're listening now in March, right? It's March. So we've got March 12th and then another one March 28th. Can you give the listeners a little info about the shows coming up, GT?
Yeah, March 12th, we got a show at the Lotus Lounge. Remember what happened at the Lotus Lounge last time. But Lotus Lounge is like a rowdy dive bar, and that's what I like about the Lotus Lounge. Is a rowdy kind of place, and if you're a comedian who wants to go out there and perform at rowdy places, GT's Comedy Jam is the place to perform at.
Yeah, I like Lotus Lounge. It's also most of our other shows have been ending up in the Valley, which is fun, but Lotus Lounge is closer to Hollywood. It's in what might be called East Hollywood, even though that's not an official city. It's kind of the trashier part of Hollywood, if Hollywood itself is not trashy enough for you.
Yeah, someone said, hey, I don't want to play at that ghetto-ass freaking place, ghetto-ass neighborhood, especially during the week.
No, I don't think it's ghetto. I really don't, but it's not really Hollywood. Like it's a Hollywood adjacent. So the good thing is something unique for LA, it's free and easy street parking. You can find street parking and you don't have to pay, and it's pretty easy to find. So that's a good thing. Pretty much all of the shows you do have free and easy street parking, which I like things that are free and easy.
Yeah. Parking is all over the place. So you're not going to have any problems parking, that's for sure. But you have to deal with the Korean owner. No, it's not the Korean owner. I think she's Thai or Vietnamese. she gets pretty aggressive. She's like a little rooster.
Yeah, I like her. But and I don't mind the neighborhood. I don't think it's trashy. There's a taco stand where they're cooking on the street, like on the corner. So if you get hungry, have you tried the tacos there, GT?
I'm used to eating tacos off the streets from off lunch trucks, ghetto ass places. You know, the other day I had this burrito. I asked for a beef burrito, but I think it was something else in there. I'm not quite sure. It might have been pork.
Well, they use all parts of the cow. It seems like lengua means tongue. I don't know. There's another part that's something they call tripe. I don't know, but I see in the real Mexican stands they have a wide variety of beef, like parts that you wouldn't normally eat. So maybe that's what you were tasting, is just some unknown rare part of the cow.
Yeah. I once found out there was like they were making burritos off some intestines that had shit in there. So and I quite honestly I wanted to taste it.
I'm having a hard time believing you right now. I don't believe you. They had intestines with the shit still in there. And how did you find this out?
There was one place off on Melrose right in front of some Vons or something on Melrose or Ralph's or Vons near Highland, and he told me it was intestines, but I did try intestines with shit in there at Tijuana once.
How do you know there was shit in there? I mean, that's the thing. Is like I know they might use the intestines, but I'm sure they clean out the shit first. Intestines are used for a lot of things. They're also used for wrapping sausages.
No, they were chopping it up, and I saw green things coming out of the intestines. They were green, and then when I ate it, I could just taste it in my mouth. It tasted disgusting.
And they chopped it up. There was no rinsing done after the chopping.
No, it was already being cooked.
Maybe that was a special sauce. Maybe that was something else green. Chile Verde or something.
No, I talked to the guy. He told me it's his intestines. I'm all like, is that shit in there? Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that is pretty disgusting. Well, this is why I don't normally eat on the street. But there is food being cooked up and served on the street near Lotus Lounge. So if that is interesting, anybody in coming to our show, they can come and check out some street food. And hopefully there's no shit in it.
I mean, I'm sure everybody eats off the street, you know what I mean? But people always see me, standing in line and getting some polos off some street vendor. They have no water to wash their hands. They probably scratch their dick and then serve. But I don't give a fuck. I'm all like, who gives a shit? Just give me my polo.
What is polo? Do you mean pollo? Pollo is chicken.
Pollo, exactly. Pollo.
Double L in Spanish. It's pronounced like a Y. I'm sure we have some Latino listeners out there who would be happy to correct you.
Pásale. Tacos de cabeza, salsa borracha, chicharrón, carnitas. Pásale.
Oh, wow. GT just caught a mosquito with his bare hands. Oh, he's about to lick it up because he knows it has some blood in there. So our mutual friend, I don't know if she's GT's friend anymore, but she's my friend, Bella Rose, who's also a comic. She's always traveling the world and doing yoga. She was studying yoga in India, and she currently is on a trip to Bali, Indonesia, which is a gorgeous, beautiful place. If anybody's seen the movie Eat, Pray, Love, that's what made me just fall in love with the way it looks, the landscape and everything there. But she got bit by some mosquitoes and wound up with dengue fever and has been in the hospital in Bali for over a week, missed her flight home, and she's just stuck there hospitalized doing nothing for over a week, and she feels horrible.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know what kind of mosquitoes there are over there, but Maybe she's not immune to those mosquitoes.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. I mean, it's a tropical place, and dengue fever. I mean, the mosquitoes. I've read that mosquitoes only travel about 200 feet from where they're born, so it's a pretty local place. But basically, getting bit by a mosquito, it's like they bite one person and then they bite you. It's like getting a blood transfusion or having unprotected sex. I mean, you're basically intimately sharing blood and germs with random strangers in these tropical countries.
So she keeps going there. She must have a lover there or something.
No, she's in love with yoga, and she's trying to get to their next level of certification, I guess, and she's studying with some guru, and she's really into it. It might not be the place that I would go, but she's really into it, India anyway, and then she took a side trip to Bali this time for the first time, and it ended up with a severe illness. So and she's been sick many times that she's traveled. So that is something, when you go to these, especially tropical areas, they have massive insects. Like their bugs are way bigger than our bugs here. If you're afraid of bugs and spiders, these tropical places, they really grow big, and there's a lot more of them there. So, you get the warm weather, but you also get bit by weird insects.
I had my first boba back 10 years ago in Alhambra, and that's predominantly Asian Chinese Chinese community. There's a huge Chinese community, and I had my first boba. I don't know what the hell it was, in some shopping center where they had little Hello Kitties all over the place, and they were serving boba. I'm like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. And she gave it to me. I'm all like, this is so. And the straws were kind of different back then, where boba would hardly even fit through the straws, and it would sort of like get lodged between the straw, and you had to suck on it really hard. And then it ends up like hitting the back of your throat. You end up swallowing it. It's kind of a weird feeling.
Well, it sounds like you're a pretty adventurous eater. You're eating intestines. You're eating in the authentic way. That's the best way to eat. I guess different foods, foreign foods.
I thought bobas were like eggs that came out of a woman's vagina or something. That they end up like in a juice.
They do look a bit like caviar or those salmon eggs. I used to go fishing as a kid, and they have salmon eggs as bait. But I don't think they look like a human egg. But I've never seen one, so who knows. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was mentioning about the tropics. There was a news story. I don't know if you saw this, GT, that these biologists or people that study animals and insects were amazed. They actually were really happily amazed. I would be freaked out, but they were super happy that they saw a giant spider with a body the size of a baseball eating a possum. So it was eating a small mammal. And that was the first time they've seen a spider eating a mammal. What do you think of that?
What country?
Again, it was one of these tropical countries, but it makes me not want to go. If their spider's so big that they could eat a possum or a rat or something like that, that's pretty frightening. I have arachnophobia.
Oh man, can you imagine waking up to that? It's like I've been bitten by a spider when I was cleaning my backyard when I used to live in Silver Lake, and I had this huge rash on my hand, a rash all over, and then I found out it was a spider bite. But spiders can get deadly, that's for sure.
Yeah, I looked at the list of the deadliest animals, and guess who was number one? Deadliest animal besides humans. I think it was might have even been more deadly than humans. I can't remember, but the deadliest animal, kills the most humans per year. Take a guess.
Fly.
mosquito. It's the mosquito. So you got to be careful. But yeah, there were a lot of animals you wouldn't expect on that list. And spiders were on there. Rats were also on there 'cause they carry diseases. It wasn't like the lions and the hippos were actually more popular than I would have guessed. But yeah, it wasn't the big animals. It was the little insects that were the most deadly and things that are spreading diseases from person to person. But anyway, this makes me happy that I'm not traveling anywhere tropical anytime soon.
Yeah, there's a Boba Loca opening up everywhere now, you know. There's a Boba Love, Boba Loca, Boba Love You, whatever. And so yeah, that's how I get my energies, you know, by drinking boba. And you know, someone said there's a lot of sugar in there and that thing's not good for you. And boba is made out of some sort of root. I heard, but at first I thought it came from a girl's vagina, but
Well, you're ahead of the curve, GT. You're the trendsetter. You were eating boba or drinking boba before it was even popular. So this is something I never knew about you. I'm not a huge boba fan 'cause you're right. Like, you're just drinking and then all of a sudden, like, this ball goes into your mouth and it's all slimy. It's not my favorite thing, but you seem to like the feeling.
yeah, I was addicted to boba. And boba became an addiction. I kept on buying it almost every single day, and I started getting sick because I was having way too much boba, and I had to go to Bobaaholics Anonymous.
All right. So if anybody out there comes to one of our shows, you will see GT possibly jacked up on boba. It's a new thing about him that we're learning new things about GT every day. But yeah, we have a show on March 12th. We have another one March 28th. Where's that?
Liquid Zoo.
All right. And you can also check out gtscomedyjam.com. You probably are already listening at divebarcomedy.com, or we have a GT's Comedy Jam Facebook page. And then there's also Wild Joe Comedy Facebook page, and GT has his comedy Facebook page, and then there's Twitter pages, Wild Joe Comedy. I have wildjoke.com. We're all over the internet. If you just look up Wild J-O, you'll find me. And GT, you're going to find a bunch of cars and stuff.
Yeah, you can also find me around the open mic scene, doing open mics and, you know, establishing myself.
You can find me shopping at Albertsons. You can find me at a yoga class. You might find me walking across the street at lunchtime from the office trying to get food at the Mexican stand across the street. So just drive around town and look around, and maybe you'll find us. But the best way is to come to one of our shows.
Yeah, you are one big basketball in your stomach right now. You definitely look like you have a basketball. Someone's ready to play ball with that thing.
Yeah. Yep. So for those who haven't been listening, I am pregnant, so it's getting bigger. So if you want to see me in my full pregnant glory, come and check out a show this month, 'cause you never know when this baby might come out. All right, GT, we better get on to our show. We have a couple fun comics and interviews with them, so I don't want to take up too much time. It's been interesting getting to know you better, even though I thought I already knew everything.
Yeah, I have a lot of secrets you don't know.
I can't wait to hear them all. Hey, ladies, you want some hot deals on sexy styles? Check out everydaysweetheart.com for everyday great deals on cute and sexy outfits, clubwear, mini dresses, leggings, sexy lingerie. And guys, feel free to stop by too and find something hot for the girl of your dreams. That's everydaysweetheart.com. And for 10% off, use the friend code TAKE10. That's TAKE10. Thanks a lot. Okay, here we are. Dive Bar Comedy. I've got Catie Ryan with me. What's up?
Hey, I'm just floored that your name is Wild Joe. I'm so impressed.
Thank you. It's not my born name. I was not born Wild, last name Joe.
Is your first name Josephine?
Johanna.
So where'd you get the Wild?
Well, I like nature.
Okay. I thought, you had like a wild past into drugs or something. I don't know.
I've done a lot of wild things.
Sure.
We're going to talk about it.
Exclusive.
No, it's funny. When you don't talk about your wild past, people assume that you're like really straight and narrow and innocent. But when you do talk about it, they think you're a total whore. So I don't know. I like talking about it, but then you kind of get punished for it. So that's comedy is good because they never know if you're joking or serious.
Completely. I think with white women, too, for people who are listening and can't see me, I'm a white woman. Wild Joe is a white woman. And people just assume we're very demure and polite and don't have anything, suspicious about us at all, which is so funny because, like, we can get away with literally anything because we're so unassuming. But it's funny.
Yeah, I put a lot of, like, little hinty, jokey story things in my comedy that people think I'm, like, exaggerating, but I'm actually usually playing it down.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah, like people just never expect that from, a woman especially, but like a woman that looks as fragile as we do. I don't know. I have freckles all over my face, so people are like, "Oh, you couldn't do anything wrong."
Yeah. Catie has freckles and a small nose, and I think the small nose also goes along with being like babyish and cute. Yeah, she's very cute, and so that is probably why people. Same with me. They would always think like I'm so innocent, and so I could kind of get away with not being innocent, and everybody just thinks it's my first time doing everything.
Yeah, I told an airport security lady that I carried weed on the plane. She's like, "Shh, don't tell anyone."
Wow.
I'm kidding. She was cool though, and I was in TSA pre-check. No one was there. It was late, so I'm sure she was just done with the shit for the day.
You were keistering it, Catie?
Keistering? What does that mean?
It means you stick it up your butt.
Oh no, I had it in my makeup bag. It was like fully out. I was like, "There's no hiding that. Who cares?"
They found it when they scanned your bag?
No, I told her about it. I was like, "You're gonna see it, but I just want to give you a heads up."
Wow.
I was in St. Louis too, Missouri, so
It's not legal there.
no. Well, it just got legalized for medical use in the last election, but we have a long way to go.
Yeah, I had my medical license as soon as it got legalized in California. I was like, oh, my back, my neck.
My anxiety is so bad. Totally.
Yeah, it's hard because it's like you want to put like some medical thing that's not like super severe. It's going to go on your record, but it's severe enough.
Yeah, like I'm not handicapped, but I just need a little help.
Like you're a therapy dog. It's like registering a therapy dog.
Exactly. It's our kind of therapy.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. My mind has gone off to putting dogs on planes now because, if you register your dog as like a working therapy dog, you could like bring them everywhere with you on a plane, at a restaurant. I had a guy bring his little small dog on a first date with us to a restaurant. It was very odd behavior.
He needed it because he was so stressed about meeting you?
Well, we had already met. It was just our first date. But, no, we had met, I think, like at a bar or someplace. He was a good-looking guy, like extremely good-looking. But then he had this small dog that he brought with us, and it sat on his lap during our dinner. And he said it was because the dog couldn't stand to be without him, but
He was definitely trying to impress you. The fact that he had a dog. No one can resist a hot man with a dog.
unless they don't like dogs that much, and especially not when they're eating and it's like on the table.
You don't like dogs? Oh, no.
I mean, they're okay from afar, but I don't like want to touch one.
Oh, my God. You haven't met the right dog. It's like when like a girl comes out as like being lesbian, her mom's like, you haven't met the right guy. And she's like, no, seriously. That's what I'm saying to you right now. I'm terrible.
This was a very cute dog. It was a very cute dog, and maybe it was the right dog. It was just not the right place to have this dog practically on the table while we're eating. And I felt like he was the one that couldn't leave his dog alone, and not the opposite way.
Yeah, that seems inappropriate.
You have a dog, Catie?
No, okay, about 2 years ago, I just developed an allergy to dogs. My heart is broken. I feel like everything on earth, every good thing has a consequence. Like, you eat too much, you get fat. You drink too much, you die. I don't know. But you have a dog and nothing wrong happens except for, they shit some places and you get fur. But other than that, they're perfect. And that was the one thing that I had that I felt like was taken away from me.
I am more of a cat person, although I don't like all cats. I just like certain cats. I had a wonderful cat for 13 years. But I also am allergic to both cats and dogs. So, I think it comes down to the individual cat or dog, because some are they release more allergens than others.
I completely agree. Well, I have developed a subconscious aversion to dogs just because I'm allergic to them, which sucks. I mean, I also love cats, but like, I don't know. I feel like cats give you a few more reasons to dislike them because they're so like they withhold their love, whereas dogs are just like, I need you. I love everything about you, even if you put them in a closet for 3 days. But not that I've done that, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it's the more when I see a dog, I like recoil rather than go pet it, which is just so opposite of how I was 2 years ago.
I think two things. First of all, I think if you pet the dog and just don't breathe in its dander and go ahead and wash your hands afterward, that you'll be fine. Second, as far as dogs versus cats, and dogs need you too much, that's what I don't like about dogs. I love my cat. It's like, if I pet him, he's fine with it. He enjoys it. If I don't pet him, he's not bugging me to get pet all the time and like being clingy and needy and annoying.
Yeah, totally. I get it. You have to work for their affection. It's like kind of a game.
And I don't always want to be constantly having to pet the thing. And the other main thing is, dogs don't clean themselves. Cats just lick themselves, and they go to the bathroom by themselves. And dogs, you have to wash, and a lot of times they have bad breath, and they stink, and then they want to lick you all over, and then you stink, or you get it on your clothes or your hand, or I don't know. I don't like their dog saliva, and a lot of them have a horrible dog smell.
Okay, I definitely agree with that. Dogs can be overbearing. I actually saw a really interesting, I don't know if it was an essay or just a paragraph someone wrote, but about how it might be a weird sign if someone only likes dogs and hates cats, because dogs are so submissive and they are just blindly following their leader all the time. So if you only like dogs, then maybe you're a really possessive, controlling person and you don't want to work for the affection of cats. I don't know, just some food for thought. Who knows if it's true? I could be making this up as I go along, but someone else wrote it too, so.
I'm sure that was written by a cat lover.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But there's some truth to the fact you could beat your dog, you can abuse your dog, and the dog will still love you anyway, which is kind of like an excuse for having bad behavior. So the owner of a dog is like, can act however they want, and they don't have to worry about how the dog's going to like them.
You hit the nail on the head. Completely.
Yeah, that's true. I actually, I think it comes down to independence. Like, if you're an independent person, you want an independent pet that's not too up in your face. I unfortunately had a baby, and the baby is probably clingier and needier than any dog or cat, and she's on me all the time. And because it's a baby, you can't just like tell him to go sit out in the yard like you can a dog.
Yeah, I mean, babies are annoying. I don't like kids. I like the idea of kids. I think they're cool and creative and unhindered, and we should look at them for a source of inspiration. But other than that, they're fucking annoying.
I mean, this is the clingiest thing, like, for me as an independent type. Like, okay, I'll just tell you this. When I was a baby, I weaned myself when I was 10 months old because I could just take it or leave it. And I'm like, oh, I'll just have a bottle. I don't need tits. My baby, on the other hand, is like wants like 10 hours a day sucking my tits. She's already over 1 year old. And if I stop, she screams, cries, and now she starts beating me. I can't take a shower without her crying outside the shower and beating on the door. I mean, she's so clingy. Like, I don't think all babies are this clingy, but it's like God is trying to teach me a lesson or something by giving me the clingiest baby possible for an independent person who weaned themselves.
Needy bitch. No, I'm totally kidding. Babies are adorable.
She's very cute, but yeah, if you had to live with her, everybody's like, oh my God, your baby's so fun and so cute. And she's so independent. I'm like, you don't have to live with her and sleep with her every night. Like right now, as we speak, she's waiting up for me. I came home at like midnight the other night. She's awake.
Yeah, how dare she wait for her mother? The nerve.
Go to sleep. Why are you still awake? It makes me feel guilty. I used to be able to go out as long as I wanted, and I would have been partying afterwards and whatever. And now I have to think about, like, oh, there's a poor baby waiting up for me.
This baby is killing your vibe.
She's killing my vibe. I mean, the good thing is I had a good run, you know. I was 40.
You're Wild Joe. That name will never leave you.
I had a good run. My 20s, my 30s. I didn't get pregnant until I was 40. So I'm 42 now. So I had a very good run.
I'm not saying this to flatter you. You look like you're 28.
You should have seen me when I was 28.
Oh my God, you probably look 12.
No, I'm just saying, I had a lot of fun, too much fun, but I wish I could remember it all. And it's not just because I was smoking a lot of pot. I just have a bad memory, but I wish I could remember it all and relive it, because it all ends when you have a baby. If anybody out there wants to have a baby.
My favorite thing is that you're self-proclaimed Wild Joe, so that like it's not people describe you as wild. You're like, no, that's who I am. I am Wild Joe. Like there's no hiding that fact. That's just that's your brand.
Well, I do have wildjoe.com, and
That's hilarious.
my license plate is the thing that started it all. I got my license plate saying I was with my mom, and I was looking at like misspelled words for a personalized license plate, and I could get like Lovely Joe, like Luvli, and I was like, I don't know. And she's like, well, what do you really want? I go, well, I really want Wild Joe, but I'm sure it's taken. And lucky me, it was not taken, nor was wildjoe.com. And yeah, my mom, she was like, oh, nobody's going to marry you with that license plate. But guess what? I got to marry GT.
Oh my God, wow, you guys are married? No way. That is insane.
Yes, we met doing comedy. We knew each other for years. And then I just fucked him one day, and one thing led to the next.
Wow, I wish that happened for every girl. Just like, wow, I fucked him one day. Man, I feel like you fuck a guy and they're like, oh, I want nothing to do with you.
That was like the first 300, but
you kill me. Oh my God. Dude, that is so relatable. It hurts me.
just keep doing it. Ladies, just keep doing it.
Just keep fucking. Just keep fucking.
So GT gets to drive my car sometimes. She loves my name, Wild Joe. And GT gets to drive around with my license plate saying Wild Joe.
Yeah, and guys give me some weird looks. They'd be like, what the hell's that?
Yeah, they think it's him. They think he's Wild Joe.
Yeah, they think my name is Joe and I'm wild.
Well, what are you?
I'm not really that wild.
Well, GT is embarrassed to be seen as Wild Joe driving around in my car.
So he's like tame GT?
Yeah. I would say tame. I would say wild means sort of like you're bisexual or something, right?
Well, it could.
I don't know where. I mean, I feel like that's just an extrapolation, but like maybe. I mean, that could be a part of it, but that's not my first idea. When I think of wild, I think of just unhindered. You're just gonna, run in a field of flowers and maybe meet a European and never come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always have people tailgating me. Says, hey, you're wild, right? You're Wild Joe. Hurry up. Drive fast.
Do they say that? Do they yell out their window, drive fast, you're wild?
He knows just from looking at them that's what they're thinking.
You're telepathic. You know that they're tailing you because they think you're wild.
Man, always on my ass. They're like, hey, come on. I'm like, dude, I'm in a residential neighborhood. I'm like around Beverly Hills. 35, 40 max. Not whiny roads. I'm not gonna be driving 80. Dude, get the hell off my back.
Like they're not instigating a fight, you're just a really slow driver. Like
he actually is a slow driver. I never have this problem because I drive fast.
Yeah, so you're the real Wild Joe. Tame GT over here is his head is inflated with all these weird illusions that everyone's trying to pick a fight.
I just go by the speed limit. I don't want to get a ticket.
You're slow. You're Tame GT. I nailed it.
Hold on. If I'm driving 75 on the freeway, is that fucking slow? That's not slow, but you want me to get a ticket?
I told him, nobody gives you a ticket for going like 10 miles over the speed limit.
No. Okay, in St. Louis, you could go, the people will pull you over for going 7 miles an hour over the speed limit. They have nothing better to do. But in LA, there's real crime. And so the county police, they're going to go stop a bank robber rather than get little old me from going 7 miles over the speed limit. I just think that they need more to do.
No, GT likes to drive behind like 55-mile-an-hour semi-trucks in the slow lane, and then he's almost getting tailgated, and everybody's having to swerve around him, and he's like a hazard, almost like a tire littering the road or something like that. And he's like, I don't want to go fast. It's dangerous.
Life is dangerous, baby. Live it up.
I say go with the flow of traffic. Go with the flow.
If everyone's going fast, you go fast. They can't arrest all of you.
That's true. I've gone fast all my life. I never had a problem with going fast.
Yeah, you're Wild Joe. I would assume so.
All right. Well, this has been super fun, Catie. I guess we're starting our show. And where can people find you online?
Catie Ryan _ is my Instagram, and then that's also my Twitter handle. And
Better spell Catie.
CatieRyan. It's weird. No one ever spells it right at Starbucks, but now you guys will because I did it right now.
All right, Catie. Can't wait to hear your set.
Thank you.
Hey guys, you need a party tent, you need a commercial tent, you need a tent because you have no garage? Well, log on to webtentsale.com, WEBTENTSALE.com, and check out our site. This site is designed for commercial tents, party tents, and anything but camping tents. So if you need a tent because you have a party and you will need to buy it instead of renting it all the time, you're tired of throwing your money down the drain, well, go to our website, webtentsale.com, and check it out and order your tent right now.
You guys ready for the next comedian right on top of your chest? I said, you ready for the next comedian right on top of your chest? You goddamn right. All right, so we got another wonderful comedian coming up to the stage. She got a C for the first letter of the name, R for the letter of the last name, and it's just kind of pretty. It's like love and whatnot. So I want you guys to put some hands together and show some love for the wonderful young lady coming to the stage right now. Her name is Miss Catie Ryan. Bam, bam, bam.
Thanks. I feel like this guy thinks this is a spelling bee. He's like, name starts with a C, ends with an E, and I can use it in a sentence. On the set list for this, they actually spelled my name Catie, which I'm not sure how it happened because GT Facebook messaged me to get this gig, so we had my name in writing. But I don't know if that's because I feel like Cathies are just middle-aged women who think that buttered noodles are too spicy. Like, do I look like a Catie? That's my biggest concern right now, that I have Catie vibes. I feel like Cathie's the woman that dances with her biceps connected to her torso. It's like all shoulders. She's like, oh, I drank a vodka tonic and I don't know what to do with myself. You know, that's your mom. That's your mom, Catie. Yeah, no, I one day will be a Catie, so I can't hate too much. My mom's a Susan, so what am I gonna do? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, so when I was younger, one of my favorite movies was The Titanic. And I was 6 years old when I first watched it. And there's a scene where Jack shows Rose his drawings, and there's one where he draws one-legged prostitute. I had 2 beers because I was like, this is rock and roll. Like, look where I am. I'm either at a rave or like, I don't know what these people over here are doing. Like, they're yelling about pool. As you said, pool's not that exciting. So there must be something else going on. So where was I? Oh yeah. So I watched The Titanic, and it was like, oh, this is a one-legged prostitute. So as a 6-year-old, I asked my babysitter, what's a prostitute? And she cleverly says, it's someone who sells their body. I was like, okay. It's someone who sells their body parts. Why else would you have just one leg? Makes sense. So flash forward a week later, and I'm at the Home Depot with my mom, and she sees this beautiful plant. She goes, oh, I would love that, but it's gonna cost me an arm and a leg. I dead ass look this woman in the face and I go, don't be a prostitute, Susan. I don't know where I got the audacity to call my mother Susan as a 6-year-old, but I guess that tells you a lot about who I was as a kid. I'm sure she was super concerned, so she's like, do you know what that means? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's somebody who sells their body parts, probably on like eBay or something. I don't know exactly where. So, I mean, we didn't have Amazon back then. But she definitely taught me a lesson, but that's one of my favorite childhood stories, is like, I publicly accused my mom of being a prostitute. And that's something I can be proud of. My mom is a really lovely woman. She's really cute. She wears a ton of cardigans. There's this kid from my high school named Clark Canepa who turned into a neo-Nazi, I found out. I'm from Missouri, so that's just like a thing. And it's so sad. But I called my mom and I was like, hey, I want to do a joke about Clark, but I don't know how to phrase it. Will you help me out? And she's just like, Katie, that's not very funny. Everybody knows someone who's trying to be a Nazi. And I'm like, Susan, who are you hanging out with? So now I have to constantly watch my mom to make sure she's not joining extremist groups, because no one wants a jihadi Susan. I hate the name Josh. Why is that so funny? I just stated it. Is anyone in here named Josh?
Yep.
What? You? Are you kidding me?
I would not ever.
You seem drunk enough to be kidding me. Your name's Josh? Oh, okay, so I'm sorry. I'm just like, mute your ears. Your parents hate you.
Your name must be Fran.
Why? I'm a Catie. Also, if you guys still laugh tonight, I was just like banking on the fact that you would think it was Catie. Like, I don't know that girl. It's Catie Ryan. Ingrain that in your head. She's not me. So Josh,
So
excuse
you're
me.
Catie and I'm Josh?
You're Josh, but that's your own fault. I guess it's your parents. Huh?
Don't be lying to me.
Did you say don't be joshing me? Was that intentional, or are you just that kind of person? I love it. I love it. Okay, so Josh's, I don't know any, okay, Josh, I feel super bad now that I've had this conversation with you, but I don't know any Josh that is like,
Look out for these people going outside.
are they all named Josh?
They're all joshing you.
Oh, good
I'm
one.
from New York.
I'm from Missouri. I just said that if you were listening.
Oh, that's why I wasn't listening. That's why you're Catie.
Okay. So that's Josh over here. He's proving my point. Okay, great. So I didn't expect for this to happen. I had a ton more to say, but I just got the light. Thanks, Josh. So I don't know any Josh who's more than like mediocre. So I just wanted to put that in your heads. As a side note, Uber has started these like new initiatives of customer service since like everyone hates them. They're just terrible at, making their customers happy. So I was in an Uber and there was this guy and I was in a kind of dangerous area and he was like, don't even worry about it, hon. I have a gun. And I go, in the car? He's like, yeah, what was I gonna do? The taser didn't work. I was like, in what situation? But I didn't say that. I was like, you get 5 stars, Randy. But Ubers are kind of crazy. I mean, the last guy I had an Uber with, I was coming back from the bungalow, which is obviously like my own fault. I'm asking for a bad situation to begin with. But I was coming back and I was talking to this guy about how I was just sexually harassed. And he was like, don't worry about it. Love prevails and men will figure it out. But my wife died 3 months ago of cancer and I still have hope. And I really kind of was invigorated by this guy because we talked for like at least an hour and a half. We parked outside of where I was going to talk about this. And then about an hour and a half into it, he offered to fuck me. His name was Josh.
You're not joshing us.
I am not joshing you. That's a true story. Thank you, guys. happened. I thought I did that really well.
Up there.
Thanks.
Attention all drinkers. Attention all drinkers. Do you like a smooth tasting vodka that goes down with no burn? How about Global Vodka, straight from Italy? Check it out. You can find it at global-vodka.com. Not only does it have a smooth, great taste, it also is gluten-free and organic for you health nuts. So try Global Vodka. You can find it at global-vodka.com, or next time you're in LA, check it out at Universal Bar and Grill. All right, we are back with the Dive Bar Comedy Podcast, and we have very funny comic Alex Kruger. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Joe? Wow, Joe.
So it's your first time on GT's Comedy Jam. Is it your first time here at Universal Bar and Grill?
It is my first time here. It's a pretty cool spot. I like it.
I like it too. You ever do dive bars?
No, what's that?
Dive bars.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Dive bars are fun, yeah.
You like it just to go out and party and drink, or you actually do comedy in dive bars?
I've never done a dive bar show yet, but I'm like a big dive bar drinking person. Yeah, like much more than like a club or a studio. How about you?
You know what? I like lounges. I'm like an upscale hotel lounge person.
Whoa, we could not go on a date. Also, I'm gay, so that wouldn't work anyway, but...
I feel like I have dated some gay guys before, but they didn't tell me they were gay.
Well, now that I've told you, do you want to date me? Do you want to go on a date?
You're a good-looking guy. Let's just say that. You're a very good-looking guy. I'm married and pregnant. Does that just deter you?
No, I've dated married pregnant women before, so it's all chill. They didn't tell me until afterward, though, also, so...
That reminds me of this date I went on with this guy who was recently divorced, drove a Porsche. I must have met him online. It was like our second or third date. We went out to dinner. He's dropping me off at my house at like 8:30. I'm like, that's kind of weird. He just took me straight back to my house. No interest in going anywhere else. And I said, oh, that's it? You don't want to go anywhere else? He goes, well, we are in West Hollywood, and I've never been to a gay club before. You want to go to a gay club? I said, okay, sure. Go to a gay club. We walk in the door. I turn around. I can't even find him anymore. He's shaking his ass in the middle of the club.
Oh my God! Had he been there before? Was he lying? Did he look like at home? Did he walk in and everyone knew him? And they're like, "Welcome back, Jake." Was it like that?
I don't think he'd been there before. He was probably telling the truth. He had been recently divorced, but he looked like he was having the time of his life, and he was like wanted to stand as far away from me as possible, which is not the normal straight guy's reaction to a gay club.
No, not at all. Not. I'm glad you're not. That's not your husband, right?
No.
Okay, cool, good.
Didn't work out.
I'm so sorry. That's really rough.
We did sit by each other. We had our first kiss in the bar. Okay. And what happened was, we're sitting there, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and he's looking past me, and he sees these two guys giving each other a hand job right next to us. And he gets all horny and starts kissing me.
That's so beautiful. Was that like the way you imagined your first kiss with this guy to go? Did you guys have sex? Oh my God, did you start giving him a hand job there?
No, but that's when I realized, like, this guy is way too into this place. I mean, I already realized when he was shaking his ass by himself, but when he got turned on by the gay hand job and started kissing me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I'm usually turned on by that, but I'm gay, so, yeah.
So, GT, have you ever been to a gay bar before?
Only to push this Global Vodka. I was trying to get Global Vodka in a gay bar. That's the only reason.
Yeah, most straight guys, when they go to a gay bar, they cling to their female date.
Yeah, or it's also a good place to, if it's like a second or third date and you want to close with the girl, you take her to a gay bar because then she like sees all these guys that show her no attention, and then you look like really also sensitive and caring and like proud of your like self and sexuality. It's like it's a good move.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. My sister, she got lucky in a gay bar before, but it was with one of the go-go dancers.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think most of them are straight, I think. I'm not sure.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, money's money, right? Like, would you ever be a go-go dancer?
Yeah, I've actually done it before, but, and yeah, after a while, you don't care who your customers are, if they're gay, straight, old, young, whatever, as long as they're nice and give you money.
Any good stories about being a go-go dancer?
I'm sure
What are
there
you
are.
most proud of?
Well, I was a good dancer. I was a cheerleader. I did ballet and all this stuff. But I have met some strange people, I mean, I met this one guy who asked me if I would wear leg warmers. And I said, well, I'm not against it, but I don't have any. He goes, I have some. And he reached up his pant leg and pulls out some leg warmers. He goes, my fiance let me wear them tonight.
Oh my! Did you put them on?
No.
I don't know. I mean, you should have been like, how much are you gonna pay me to put these on, right? That's like the right question, you know?
It's just so odd that he would have leg warmers under his jeans.
Honestly, if that guy's into me wearing them, find me him. I'll do it. You know, if the money's right, you know, life's too short. Life's too short.
You meet some freaky people out there in the world.
Exactly. Hopefully, some of them are here tonight. You know, you and I could make some money.
Yeah, let's advertise. GT has a new idea. When he's doing his stand-up, he wants to be like a go-go dancer or a stripper, where he's like, throw ones on the stage, or like a busker, you know, those people that sing in public, where you just pass your hat around and they fill it with money.
When did I ever say that? Why would you make things up?
You said you wanted to pass your hat around at your next comedy show.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forget so many things I say.
So, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, why do they throw money at strippers? They don't throw money at comics. It's not fair.
I know. I mean, we should start stripping. I could change. I could switch it up. I'd make more money.
I went to this male strip club in New York where they actually, it wasn't gay. Maybe there was some gay element, but not really. But they took money right down their thong in the front, and you could touch their dicks.
Oh, whoa. Did you give them money?
Yeah, because you get to put your hand right down there to give them the money.
That's amazing. Kind of like those guys at the gay bar that you went to.
I don't know if they let you touch. I mean, these guys, it was like, touch their dick. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I'm jealous of that. Let me know when you want to go back.
Yeah, we got to go all the way to New York. Anyway, we've gotten off topic. I mean, I don't know what the topic was, but we've gotten off topic. So comedy, yeah. How long have you been doing comedy? What's going on with your comedy here in LA?
About a year ago I started, and it's been really fun. Just like hitting all the mics, making friends, being on podcasts, the normal routine, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we got a lot of comics here that have been doing it for a year or less, it seems like, that I've been meeting tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's super fun. LA's a good city to like break into the scene. People are really nice. I've made a lot of really good friends. Already done a bunch of shows at a bunch of really fun places. Haven't done as many dive bars as I like this. This will be the first, you know? Yeah,
you get to see the nitty-gritty, dirty side of LA.
Yeah, exactly. We did walk in and I was like, oh, whoa, I hope they have good food here because I'm fucking starving. And the food, we're about to get a quesadillas. Stoked for that.
Can't go wrong with a quesadilla. Have you ever eaten the food here, GT?
Yeah, the hamburger is really good.
Grass-fed?
Grass-fed. I think type of grass that when the joggers piss on when they're like jogging and they stop and take a piss and then the cows eat them.
I don't know. It's probably corn-fed, but people like GT they don't have the refined palate to know the difference.
Not at all. Do you only eat grass-fed meat? Now that you're pregnant, is that a thing?
I hardly even eat meat at all. I try not to eat meat.
I eat meat as much as I can, because I think we're all going to die. So you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. So I just eat my meat.
GT, not only does he eat meat, he chokes on meat. He's had 2 near-death experiences, almost dying from choking on eating meat. So meat can be dangerous in more than one way.
Yeah, once my dad saved me, and then once it was actually last year in February, I was really choking, and then the whole restaurant stopped, and they were like doing the Hamlet maneuver. I was surprised. Mostly it was old people. But then I was lucky. There was this football player type of guy that was kept on trying. The waitress was like, keep trying, and then finally I spit it out.
Yeah, we're lucky GT's here with us. He came home and he told me he almost died, which I thought, he probably almost got in a crash, which is not really almost dying, but he really did almost die because he couldn't breathe and he had to count on that one person giving it one last try.
That's so scary. That's never happened to me. I'm very lucky. Have you ever choked on any food?
No, but I guess I chew better.
Yeah, you got to help him out with that. Does he have like fake teeth? Does he have like flat plant teeth? Like burned down teeth,
I think he's just not patient, and then he was saying that the meat was very tough, and he kept chewing and it wouldn't chew, and he just swallowed it anyway.
You got to blend his food. Get him one of those magic bullets, put it all in that, have him just drink down that's blended steak, This
is one reason I hate steak. I never really was into eating meat, even when I was a kid. The only meat I would eat would be hamburger, because I hate chewing.
Yeah, no, I get it. I stopped eating meat like a year ago. It's been a good move. Very LA of me, you know? Lean into that LA culture. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to be totally vegan, which is really hard because there's not a lot of options, and but I still lean in that direction.
Yeah, me too. I was vegan until actually a week and a half ago. And then I fainted. And then I was like, yeah, it was really scary. And then I was like, whoa, none of this anymore. It's like,
It's tough. It's tough. And then you could be a vegetarian, and all you end up eating is quesadillas all the time.
yeah, which now we're doing that. We're getting back into the game, you know?
So, all right, this has been fun. This has been a fun talk. I can't wait to hear your stand-up. It probably, I don't know, what do you talk about in your stand-up?
I used to run a funeral startup, like a tech startup for funerals. So that's a lot of the new shtick.
It's like startup, so it's like all like happy and like you're starting something, but it's funerals, so it's like sad, very contradictory.
Yeah, exactly. It's I haven't met too many comics who have the same bit, so it's kind of unique, you know? So
Yeah, if anybody starts talking about themselves working at a funeral startup, you can be pretty sure that they stole your bit.
yeah, send them my fucking way. We gotta have a talk, you know? Put them in that oven, you know? That cremation oven.
You know, I used to go to this spa. I like this spa. It's called Voda Spa in Santa Monica. I think it's in West Hollywood. And then I found out, my sister remembered it used to be a funeral home, and the ovens that they have going, like, I don't know. They have these hot sauna rooms, and then there's like this thing. It looks like a big giant pizza oven. I think they left the cremation thing there.
Whoa. And they make pizza with it now?
No, it's like the sauna. It's like heat.
Oh, that's really dangerous. Don't go in that. That won't go well for you.
Anyway, it's a relaxing place. But then you start thinking about all the ghosts and stuff that must be in there, and all the creepy ways that there are to die, like drowning or getting strangled in a massage or burning to death in one of these hot rooms. And I thought this would be a perfect place for a horror movie.
Yeah, completely. Are you going to do a set tonight, too? Are you getting up on stage tonight?
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about?
I'm pregnant, so I have to talk about that.
The Ali Wong shtick. She's fucking stole your move. Yeah.
Well, I've listened to her stuff to where I know not to use those jokes.
Okay, exactly. That's all you need to do. You have other pregnant jokes. 100%.
Totally different ones.
Okay, well, I'll see you up on stage. This was fun. Thanks for having me.
All right, and where can people find you online?
My Instagram is Krugs, Kroogz.
Cool. All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Hey, guys, you need flooring because your floors got messed up during the last party. You need flooring because your dog urinated all over the place and it's all brown and stained and it's buckling and it's warping because of your dog. You were out doing comedy. No one was home. Well, log on to selectflooring.biz. Selectflooring.biz. B-I-Z. And hit them up. Call them up. Say, hey, what your situation is.
So we're going to keep it going back to back to back. We got the next comedian coming to the stage. Even though I'm late, you guys ready for the next comedian? You goddamn right. I like his name. He might be the distant brother of Freddy Kruger, but I have no idea. Just keep your hands together and do not fall asleep during his set or he will kill you. So show some love and keep it real good because my man Big Lexi, a.k.a. Mr. Alex Kruger.
Very cool. Freddy Kruger, I never heard that before. That was like super unique. I always have had like a weird relationship with death, speaking of that. I was thinking about like my life the other day, like as a 30-year-old, I was like, oh, this might be the end. This is a quarter life crisis. All four of my grandparents died within the same year. Yeah, when I was like 7 years old. It's like a fucking mass suit. No, it was like like one was cancer, heart attack, stroke, gonorrhea. I'm kidding. Gonorrhea didn't kill my grandpa. I did. But no, I had like a weird relationship with it. My step grandma that's my stepdad's mother. She's 103 years old, which is it's really fucking old, right? I don't get any of those genes. That's not how like step grandma shit works. But no, but like she's at that point where she's just like, I'm fucking done, you know? She's like checking out. Like I'll see her at like a family event, and I was like, Eve, like it's Passover, and she's like, soon I'm gonna be passing over. And I was like, Jesus, lady, like calm the fuck down. Like I It's like 10 points for my step-grandma for a fucking poem then. No, but like, so, it's kind of sad. So, she's at the point where she's trying to kill herself. Twice already. And she's obviously like not very good at this, right? It's kind of sad. But people will have walked down her in her nursing home with like pillows, like pressing over. She's like pressing with both of her arms, like pressing down as hard as she fucking can, right? Like her like life depends on it, you know? And the problem is that every time she gets really close, right, like her arms, she like faints and her arms give out, right? And she's like, fucking still here, you know? It's like terrible, right? Gotta like bring her to LA, like get her working on those triceps, you know? Get that bitch going. No, I'm not that concerned though. She's a smart lady. She'll figure it out. No, I have always had a really weird relationship with death. I used to have a super weird job. Everyone's like always like, oh yeah, it's hard being like a waiter or like something. I'm like, no. Like I used to be a fucking funeral director. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, it's like crowd silent. They're like that fucking blows. Yeah. Yeah, it's like. Okay, it was a funeral tech startup, so like I'm kind of exaggerating, but no, for real, it was like Uber for cremations. So like let that sink in for a sec. You're like, what is this? Let me tell you. So the way it works, like imagine your grandma's like dead at the bottom of the stairs, and you open up the tap on your phone, you click a button, and you send someone to pick her up, and a few days later send her back to you in a cute little urn. It's not the worst idea, right? Like you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool actually. I wish I could do that. A bunch of people I don't even know right now who aren't even dead, you know? She's like, fuck yeah! Like, oh, you should see her face right now, you guys. She's like fucking beaming. No, we call it Grace, which is like a beautiful, right? Isn't that like a beautiful name? Kind of like, you're like, oh, I want to cremate everyone I know with Grace. No, the problem with that is that every time business is doing well, you're kind of fucking sad, you know? Right, like I came into work one day and I was talking to my sales manager and I'm like, yo, hey, how's business going? She's like, well, you know that storm over the weekend? I was like, yes, I did. She's like, well, it took out the power at the nursing home, so business is booming. I was like, oh, shit. That's a thing, got it. Rather, whenever the business is doing well, like, that fucking sucks, you know? Like, and it also, like, wasn't good for my dating life. Like, no one wants to fucking swipe right on fucking funeral director, you know? Maybe you, sick fuck up here. She's like, I fuck a funeral director. I only fuck funeral directors. No, it was terrible. I remember I was on this one date with this guy. His name was Josh. No, his name was Ryan. And he was working at like Netflix doing like IT. And he was complaining about his day. And I was like, what happened? And he's like, well, you know, there were like Wi-Fi issues and I had to fix the network. How about you? And I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, no, tell me. Like, that's like this is part of the dating thing. And I was like, okay, Ryan. I was like, today I had a tour a cremation facility. And on the tour, I got my face a little too close to the oven. And a little bit of the ash from the oven went right into my fucking mouth. Yeah. So like, there we go, Ryan. Like, sorry you had Wi-Fi problems. Like, this is my fucking day. Like, I got to eat someone's fucking ashes, you know? I go in for like a kiss at the end of the night. He like, pulls away. Like, you know, like no one wants to fucking make out with ash mouth over here. It's fucking shitty. We have like, also like people lose their shit when someone they love dies. Like, and like I get it. Like it's sad, right? Like you're talking to people about the worst day of their life, but after a while, like, you know, you do enough of everything, it's like, it wasn't sad anymore. Like, I had this phone call with this woman, and, okay, so I was like, hey, Beth, I'm so sorry to bring this up, but for your husband, we're gonna have to charge you an extra surcharge because he was over 300 pounds. Right, like, that's not a conversation I wanna have. Like, I'm not making that up either, right? There's no way I'm like, gays one price, fat people one, like, there's a reason for that, right? But Beth fucking loses her shit. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Your scam company? Like, why the hell are you charging me more to cremate my husband? Like, I'm gonna report you to the Better Business Bureau. You better have an explanation for this. And I was like, well, turns out I do. Let me tell you, Beth. So like, because your husband is 327 pounds, I gotta hire an extra person to come hoist his body into the oven. Right? And like, also, like fatter people just, you know, take longer to cremate. We're talking like 12 hours versus like 3 hours. So that's like, I can fit like a fourth as many bodies as I could otherwise, right? So like, you know, Beth, like, that's what I got for you. You know, here's what, and like, honestly guys, Beth Sanders, 1248 North Sanders Drive. Go fucking pay her a visit. She's not chill. Yeah, we don't like her. It was really hard. It was really shitty for a while. It made dating really, really difficult. I remember one date I went on. This is when I thought it was getting better. I finally like convinced someone to go on a date with me. We're sitting there, and he's like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing for New Year's?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm actually like, my friend Jay's coming to town." He's like, "Jay, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, like, he's Indian." And I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Your friend's an Indian person?" I was like, "Oh, got it, right?" So this guy is racist, right? So it turns out, like, after a while we fucked, and it was great. Like, it was great, best sex I ever had. Right? But I mean, it's true, like, no more racist people, and, like, probably no more people that want to go and date with a female director. So, yeah. Let's see. I think that's probably all. This place is a little weird, guys. Like, I know we talked about it, but, like, this does feel like the place I would go. Like, I feel like this is a place where you're looking at a Netflix documentary on, like, the Me Too movement, and they, like, cut to a scene, like, right before someone was raped. And it's, like, this place. It's, like, someone, like, at this bar, like, right now. And now I'm, like, also uncomfortable with that joke, because just so you guys don't know, this is, like, recorded, and I'm like, oh, no. The rape joke, there we go. But we'll end on that, guys, and have a great night.
Yeah, that's right. Great stuff right there. Mr. Alex Kruger. Round of applause for Alex Kruger. Oh.
LA residents, are you tired of slippery floors? Are you afraid you might slip on your tile? Well, check out tightgripla.com. It's a local business coming out, surveying your floors, and treating it with a non-slip solution, a semi-permanent non-slip solution that will keep your floors safe, whether in the rain outdoors or indoors in the kitchen or bathroom areas that sometimes get wet and very slippery. So if you want safer floors and to not get injured while you're just walking around, check out tightgripla.com.
That's a show, guys. Thanks for listening.
Check us out every week, divebarcomedy.com. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all over the place. So please subscribe and give us some comments. Let us know what you think of the show.
Party, sleep, go to the mall. Don't forget about the sugar, mama. Fast cash, easy cash. Come on, honey, get that money.